All right, here's this awesome swing of Mac O'Grady again. That's part two here. I'm going to go into the lower body. Went into the hands and wrists last time. We're going to talk about the right leg specifically, and how that beautiful pivot is organized. So here we go. I'm going to zoom in now, and here we go. So Mac seems to have a bit more of his tailbone turned back just a little bit. This leg here is a little bit straighter than the back. Excuse me, the back leg's a little bit straighter. You can see the difference in the knee flex. The left knee is flexed less than the right, which has moved his lower center of gravity, which is going to be his tailbone, pelvis, that area there, a little off center. Okay, so it's going to be a little here. And what I've always noticed that he does it pretty much every time I've seen him with an iron. And so that's a way to set up, and you can, it's like a catalyst for, well, if I have my right knee flexed more than the left, I'm probably going to start to pull the right leg back, straighten that knee, and then the left knee will start to flex out. And you can see kind of the V between the slacks up by a zipper there. You're going to watch it start to spin around this way on the ground. So he is going to actually start to move his tailbone back to the center immediately at P2. Okay, now he's looking like he's right back in the center with that lower center of gravity. Okay, so again, I'm going to walk through this slowly. You can see it looks like, I'll fade out a little bit, right? You can see how it looks like the hips are set back on the right leg a hair. Okay, and obviously you can see the left knee is pointing out towards, not over his ankle, but a little bit outside to the left as he's looking. Okay, so it's not a perfect centered setup with the knees, okay? And as he goes back, you'll see the left knee starting to swivel its way over the ankle and go inside of the ankle, while the right knee that was over the ankle, right there, you're going to watch it start to pull back and start to move the pocket away from this line right away. Okay, this is really, you have to pay attention to get this stuff, but I believe it helps with him setting the hips in the tilted position right here, like this. A beautiful knee flex. You can see the knees are lined up like that as well. Of course, the perfect shoulder turn, hands, and all that we talked about last time. Now, here's the magic move, right? So we swiveled that right hip socket around and jacked it up. Okay, so that hip's quite a bit higher now. It really went up in the air and spiraled up, and now he's just going to shift off of that leg. It's almost like if you watch the area with the wrinkles in the inside of that right thigh there, that leg is motionless pretty much as the left hip starts to move away from the pelvis. Okay, um, here we go. Up there, this little move there. See how that right knee isn't really going anywhere right now? But the left knee's moved quite a bit. I'll see if I can put a little mark on the left knee here. And we'll see if I can get that same kind of mark on the other side. Right there, something in there. And then as I start to roll this a little bit, you can see the right knee is just a post. It's just chilling. And he's going into, he's adducting the pelvis away from the right hip, going into external, and that left knee has moved quite a bit. Check that out, guys. So that left knee moved how much? 2, 3, 4, and that's the tough part about the transition. So he's not bowing both legs and dropping a basket. He's just moving the left as he continues to keep the tilt of the hips. If he started turning that knee right away, the right knee is going to level out the hips too early. There the knee went, and then the hips leveled, see? So it's kind of a master move, but you're looking at the master here, the master of moving components better than anybody ever, and understanding, I wouldn't say anybody ever, but I mean understanding exactly what he's doing. A lot of people do stuff with feel and do rather well with it, but Mac, and for some of you that don't know, learned how to do it left-handed, so he knew what it felt like to to be a novice, the average Joe trying to get this game. He knows how hard it is. So that little piece on the knees, I think is cool and something you can practice for sure in a mirror. And once you get into here, now he's down there in that, like P5.5, left arm's past parallel to the ground, about 45 degrees, still got a little bit more than 90 degrees of hinge. And now he's ready to go into extension. So you can see his the pant pocket there on the left side now starting to raise up. He's going into extension big time right now. I'm going to zoom in again and just take care of that pocket there rising. You're going to see the wrinkle start to come out of the slacks above next to his left arm there. So he's just starting to squeeze the legs together, post up. You can see his head this is really cool. It's like an elevator. His head just goes straight up. Boop, 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 boop. Right? Yeah. I mean, I can get much better than that, guys. So we're on lower body today. He has a unique setup. I've done this setup and I do it when I think about it. And it's cool. It's like a tailbone swivel, swiveling into the center. And it really helps the shoulders feel like they can go, the left shoulder can go down, and get some good pelvic tilt right there. Right. So as he gets in here to P6 now, let's see what goes on. We already know that he's got all the dorsiflexion and hinge in that right wrist you can handle. And his club, butt of the club there, let that play through. The butt of the club there, though, where is it? So, man, okay. Now, this is what I see a lot of my students try to do is get their hands all the way to here, okay? But and I say all the way to here, it's like vertically on top of that golf ball with what? Yep, you guessed it, 90 degrees of wrist hinge or angle away from the ball, and you're trying to get that angle out. Well, I don't know about some of you other pros out there or you amateurs that have tried to get the angle out. Typically what happens is you don't know how to do it, right? So you start dragging this through, trying to get that club head to go to that golf ball. So you start moving your head more, or you start rotating like the modern swing, rotate it out and some way to get that club to sweep into that ball or pinch the ball. Instead of Max going up the elevator with his head right there and smashing that golf ball. Just like that. So, you just have to know what you're shooting for and get after it. Yeah. Might as well show you this while we're at it here. So one of the things that I've always said to myself when I looked at the Hogan impact, right? And Mac, like I think about 80% of Hogan mechanics, and then 20% would be Snead. That's sort of his model for Morad. So right there, the hands. If you've ever thought of this, guy.